Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly forecast for October 7th through the 13th. We have our little October theme here. We're going to see what's going on for you in the week ahead with these cards, and then we're going to go ahead and pull a spirit message for you from this deck here. We do have a full moon happening on the 13th. It is in the sign of Aries, and you guys are all fire signs. So some of you may be picking up on that fire energy in the full moon. But we'll see what is coming up for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising the week ahead, October 7th through the 13th. Let's see what is going on for our darling Sagittarius. Here is your Monday, Tuesday, your Wednesday, Thursday, and your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as always, my darlings, if you want to know which card decks I'm using, I always have that listed in the description of the video. All right, Monday, Tuesday, we have the Empress. Now, some of you may have Scorpio somewhere in your chart, because if I'm not mistaken, Scorpio did get this Monday, Tuesday. So if you do, this might be a double whammy. Some of you may be partnering up with a Scorpio and doing something with a Scorpio in the week ahead, some kind of creative project, some kind of outlet, something that you might be doing that might be coming off in the beginning as a passion project or creative project, but it may have the underlying workings of a business, like a business coming up. It could be an opportunity for self-employment. But typically when we have the Empress coming up, you're manifesting something very big. It is a major arcana card. So it's going to be a really big kind of turning point. Now, some people will come back and they'll comment something like, oh, nothing happened today, or it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, there was no big turning point. You have to keep in mind, tarot is in terms of energy, my darling. So it could be something in terms of energy shifting. When we have a major arcana card happening, it's not typically something that happens in the matter of a day. It's something that builds over time. It's something that creates itself over time. So it's not something that boom, Monday, Tuesday, all of a sudden you have an empire, right? But it might be the first few steps in that direction. Empress is also going to be about that beautiful, creative, feminine energy. So this could be a good time for you guys to tap into that, regardless of if you identify as male or female. It might be a good time to come into that soothing, nurturing kind of energy. Wednesday, Thursday for Sagittarius, we have Three of Pentacles. Sagittarius, you guys are definitely doing something in terms of money. Okay, your next card here is Three of Pentacles, and Three of Pentacles is establishing a foundation, building upon an existing connection. So some of you might be focused on things like in terms of love life, but if this is love life, we're talking about like the serious aspect of things, like things getting serious, the everyday life. We're talking about where finances are going, what they're being put into. Some of you may be partnering up in a romantic way with someone, and there might be some kind of business you all are doing together. But Three of Pentacles indicates some foundation is being established. And some of you, this is happening at work. A lot of the times, and I've said this in other readings and other videos, a lot of the times in my readings when I see Three of Pentacles come up for my client, especially if we are reading into money or work energy, it tells us that you have some kind of project that you're getting pulled into. I see it happen all of the time. Either your higher ups are paying more attention to you, and you can feel like they're watching you, or they're calling you in and they're having you work with a different department, or they're giving you some kind of project to work on. So Three of Pentacles, it's like you might not have this thing immediately handed over to you, but you're being entrusted with something. It's like you're being taught, they're working with you, they're mentoring you. So if this were in a love situation, it would be someone who's seeing you as, hey, there's definitely potential for a future here, and they're trying to see about how to build with you or how to build moving forward. Three of Pentacles, though, is foundation. The key word here is foundation. I do feel like some of you are preparing to like you've been moving around a lot, and you're preparing to come into an energy where you're going to like really get established, like finding your place on your own. Maybe you've traveled and like you've had roots, like say you've been living with your family, or you've been living in a family home for a long time, and you've had opportunities to travel, and you've gone and you've seen friends, and you've spent time in different states and cities and maybe even countries, but you keep finding yourself time and time again coming right back to that same old family house or apartment or whatever, and it's just like, I leave and I keep coming back, and I guess this is home. Three of Pentacles is giving me a sense that you're getting out on your own. You're finally getting out on your own, and something is happening midweek that is taking you in that direction. Again, it could be a job offer. It could be some kind of project where you're coming together with someone and you all are working together. It's going to be in different ways to different ones of you, because this isn't a this is a general reading. This is not a private reading, right? But I do feel a strong sense, those of you who feel like you keep getting pulled back to that same living situation, you know, living with family, living with parents, living with siblings, you know, whatever it is, you're finally, something is establishing to where you're finally coming out of there. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, another major arcana card, and it confirms what I was saying. I love it when that happens. We've been having a lot of these moments in this week's readings, guys. I'm telling you, something happens as we get close to Scorpio season. I'm not being partial. I'm not saying it because I'm a Scorpio. I just see it happen time and time again. You know, something happens when we come into Scorpio season, and then right after that we have Sagittarius season. You know, we're coming into that action kind of energy. We're coming into that action kind of energy, my darlings. So you have this really powerful movement energy when we have the Chariot. This is another major arcana card. We're not talking about some willy-nilly kind of change. We're not talking about some willy-nilly kind of movement. This is direction. This is purpose. This is focus. This is making stuff happen. Okay, with the Chariot, there's a message that some of you have been feeling kind of stuck, or you've been waiting for something to happen, and you've really been working really hard, and you've been connecting with your guides and your angels, and you're like, okay, guides, I'm ready. You know, what's going to happen? What's next? And you feel like nothing's happening. You feel like nothing at all is happening. And you're waiting and waiting and waiting. Okay, what's next? I'm ready. Meanwhile, Sagittarius, your guys are standing around like with their chin rested on their hand, like they're waiting for you to tell them what to do. They're waiting for you to pick and choose a direction. A lot of the times the message with the Chariot card is pick a direction and everything is going to start moving, or your angels and guides are going to start helping you. Right? Some of you haven't decided if you want to move away from family. Some of you haven't decided if you want to climb the career ladder or have your own business. Some of you haven't decided if you want to be in a relationship, or if you want to, you know, live your life as a free bird. And you're just kind of waiting for Spirit to show you what it's supposed to be. And Spirit's like, no, you tell us what you want so we can bring you that order. And so the Chariot, it's kind of like that Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. And I know every time I say it, a lot of you quote, what is this, Paul Kalo or something? He said something similar in his book. But Ralph Waldo Emerson said, once you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. And that's what the Chariot is about. You need to choose a direction, and everything is going to flow in that way. I do feel, Sagittarius, a lot of you are manifesting, and this has been coming up for some of the signs for some time now. So something could be happening in the mass collective. We could be creating some kind of new, wonderful, cool place together and not even know it. Kind of like in the 60s when San Francisco was the happening place. I guess now there's like a group of people that are flocking over to Oregon. But we might be creating some kind of new next cool place, because a lot of the signs I've been seeing have been coming up that a lot of people are preparing to relocate. And I do get that sense for you, Sagittarius, like you're preparing to make your home somewhere maybe farther away. And I see this for a lot of people. So the energy might be calling a big group of people to a specific place. I'm curious to see what happens in the next few years, where the next cool places where everybody's flocking towards, or where the next cool little spiritual community is that's going to pop up. Austin in Texas has been, here in the States, has been becoming a cool little happening spiritual place. I know parts of North Carolina. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen, right? Like, where is going to be the next little place of our, peace and love tribe. We're going to go ahead and see what's happening for you all with your spirit message for the week. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising. Don't forget to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos, guys, because some weeks that's going to resonate with you more than others, or it might add a little extra information. Childhood and innocence, Sagittarius. This is a big one. Okay? Like I said, watch your moon, sun, and rising sign. It might make a little bit more sense. You might need a private reading. I'll talk about that at the end. But your spirit message here for the week, my darlings, is childhood and innocence. Sagittarius, I feel like a lot of you have been having a lot of blame put on you, or a lot of labels put on you. That's been coming up for you all for a while as well. And so Spirit's kind of inviting you to go back to that time of innocence, right? And realize that you still have that wonder, that beauty, that sincerity, that genuine self inside of you. Okay? Some of you might be working through childhood issues in terms of like figuring out what your triggers are. Keep in mind, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, guys, we have that full moon in Aries, and the full moon is a time of release, and you guys are coming up on that chariot energy. So that is telling us with that chariot energy that you all are being very moved to action. You all are being very moved to take steps in your life. You're embracing, you're kind of overcoming that angst. And so as a part of that angst, some of you are revisiting childhood. And as you're releasing, you're revisiting childhood and things in your childhood that you want to release, or things in your childhood that you want to be done with. Okay. For other ones of you, you might be doing something in terms of a creative project where you're coming into things from your childhood that you're thinking, man, I would love to have had this when I was a kid. And you might be creating something for children that's going to be helpful and healing for them, in their life growing up. Like maybe in some ways you grew up knowing or feeling that you were different, or you had a very specific type of family situation, or you knew you had spiritual gifts and you didn't know how to put that into words. And so you might be creating something for kids, a toy, a story, a comic book, educational system, something that you feel like that would have helped me so much when I was a child. So some of you may be revisiting in childhood in that way as well. I know I didn't talk too much about love in this reading, guys. I don't cover too much love in the weekly forecast. I do the love and romance separately. But if you want to check out the love videos, feel free to go ahead and click on the link in the description for that. If you would like a private reading, this is a good week to do it, my dears, because we have a special, or I'm doing a special for October. So the 60-minute phone calls and 30-minute phone calls are going to be 50% off. They're going to be half price. Usually for 60 minutes, it's 100. It'll be 50. For 30 minutes, it's usually 50. It'll be 25. I'm still offering the recording readings too. For those of you who like that, who like to have the audio or the video, I'm just doing the special on the phone calls because it's a nice way to connect. It's a nice way to be able to hear your voice and pick up on your energy. And sometimes it's nice because you have me right then and there during the reading. So if you have a question, you can just ask instead of having to book another reading because another question came up. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to read for you guys. That's why I'm here. You can book as many readings as you would like. I have no problem with that. But sometimes it might be nice to just be able to say, oh, wait a minute, that's interesting. Let me ask you about this. So if you would like to go ahead and schedule a reading, you can click on the Calendly link in the description of the video and schedule a reading there, my dears. I thank you so much for watching, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I'm wishing you a fabulous week, my darlings.